incredible group of people that are so supportive of each other and what you've grown into. I couldn't be any prouder of you guys. And I'm sitting back there honestly regretting every single day of the last 4 years that I haven't been here and been alongside all of you. I love you all very, very, very much. I just want you to know that right out of the gate. Love you guys.
In the vast digital realm, there once existed a place of creativity and camaraderie known as Rooster Teeth. Within the confines of their studio, a family of creators united to produce some of the internet's most memorable content. It was much more than just some soulless company. It was a community that defined many childhood memories and will always stand as a lasting monument to the golden age of YouTube. However, in the long history of laughter and imagination, a problematic figure that is known to everyone as Ryan Haywood is forever intertwined with this enduring legacy. A troubled man who once had everything someone might want. A dream job of playing video games for a living, wonderful and supportive friends, and most importantly, a caring community that constantly demonstrated unwavering dedication. Inside the safety of Achievement City, he created friendships that seemed unbreakable. Yet, even the strongest bonds eventually break beneath the weight of disturbing secrets that eventually get exposed. In hindsight, it almost seems as though the Tower of Pimps stood as a silent witness to the intricacies of human nature, its shining facade betraying the turmoil within. Ryan Haywood is just one among the many who have tarnished this cherished community and the ideals it once represented. His story is a story of triumph and tragedy, which could also be used to perfectly describe the loving memory of Rooster Teeth.
I mean, I have to apologize to the community. You guys, I'm sorry we let you down. I sat literally on the next desk from that monster for years.
Let's Play channel name, which, I mean, someone else did have and he was able to get because it was inactive, but, I mean, moving on it that quickly when he saw the opportunity. Game Fails was another, I mean...
There isn't a lot of information available about Ryan's early life, but what we do have provides a general idea of how to begin this documentary. One of the first intriguing aspects of his personality can be found in his name. Ryan Haywood is actually James Ryan Haywood. This discrepancy came from the fact that his parents tended to use his middle name over his first. Because of this, he preferred to be called just Ryan, which is now also considered as his stage name. Born on December 6, 1980 in Columbus, Georgia, he is the youngest of 3 children. During his formative years, Ryan initially worked as a pool cleaner throughout his early high school days. However, this job wasn't as significant to him as what came after because, interestingly enough, it was during this time that he managed to become a professional male model, a privilege that I wouldn't guess many people in his position are able to obtain.
What was your best job, Ryan?
I'd say this one is right up there.
Up there with what?
Well, I did have a job after the pool thing that was not bad.
What was it?
What was it?
Was a professional model.
You're a professional model?
You do that here.
I didn't get paid a lot for it, really. Like, I only had my actual work involved. I was in one magazine.
What magazine?
Saved by the Bell magazine?
I think it was called Twist. It still exists.
Twist?
Twist magazine.
Internet, go!
Go! Find
it! Good luck if you can find it.
While working as a model, he appeared in a magazine called Twist and even starred in a runway show in Italy. Although there wasn't much money to be made, Ryan, as a teen, had the opportunity to participate in a very interesting line of work that, on certain occasions, even allowed him to travel. His life after high school was nothing if not turbulent. He graduated from Full Sail University with a degree in computer animation and spent 6 years at Georgia Southern University, where he pursued courses in computer engineering, computer science, broadcast and theater. He also went abroad to study in England.
Yeah,
But
good job.
didn't you change what you wanted to do a bunch of times?
I did, but at the time I think I was a theater major, so it was pretty much
okay.
the lowest of the
You
low.
were a theater major?
Oh, I'm P. Diddy now.
Yeah, didn't you do like computer and then like broadcast?
Whoa,
I
whoa,
started as computer
whoa.
engineering, then I went to computer science, then I went to broadcast, then I went to theater. And then I went and got a degree in computer animation after that.
How many degrees do you have?
I didn't follow any of those through except for the theater and computer
6.
animation.
All right. Well, hey.
Upon returning from Europe, he rekindled his relationship with his high school sweetheart, Lori, and they would eventually marry in 2007 when Ryan was approximately 27 years old. In March of 2011, Ryan relocated to Corpus Christi, Texas with his wife. Upon completing his education, he began searching for employment to transition into the professional world. As luck would have it, while browsing Craigslist, he stumbled upon a job opening with a peculiar company that had recently emerged as a significant player in the online entertainment industry. That company was none other than Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth Productions is, or more accurately, was an American internet media and production company known for producing a wide range of online content. Its journey began in April of 2003 when Bernie Burns, along with his friends Jeff Ramsey and Gus Sorolla, decided to create a machinima series through the video game Halo Combat Evolved.
You want to talk about it? No. You sure?
Yeah.
Seriously, though, why are we out here? As far as I can tell, it's just a box canyon in the middle of nowhere.
The concept was simple yet very intriguing. They used the game's multiplayer mode to capture footage while also incorporating their own dialogue and narrative, creating what would later be recognized as Red vs. Blue. Even the name Rooster Teeth originated from this series, as the term cockbite was frequently used as an insult by the characters in the show.
Oh, you backstabbing cockbite!
Red vs. Blue quickly became an internet sensation, attracting millions of viewers and establishing Rooster Teeth as a pioneering force in the world of online entertainment. The success of this series allowed the team to expand their operations and create new content that goes beyond just machinima. By the year 2011, the company had already made a name for itself as a juggernaut in the web-based entertainment. Rooster Teeth had diversified its content offerings, exploring various genres and formats to cater to a broad audience. Shows like Rooster Teeth Shorts showcased the team's comedic prowess, while Achievement Hunter tapped into the growing popularity of video game walkthroughs and let's plays.
All right, so we got 5 facts in Grand Theft Auto 4. Here we go. Number 1, in order to get a lot of research data on New York City, the inspiration for the game's setting, Rockstar visited it twice.
The company also ventured into live-action productions such as the sci-fi series Immersion. In addition to its original programming, they had also cultivated a vibrant online community through its website and various social media platforms. Fans eagerly engaged with the team's content, participating in forums, attending live events, and contributing fan art and fan fiction inspired by their favorite series. It's obvious now how Ryan recognized the potential of working in such an environment. By many margins, Rooster Teeth was just different in all the right ways. After submitting his application, Ryan would make the drive up to Austin where the company was situated, and there he would talk with Jeff Ramsey regarding potential employment. As mentioned previously, Jeff, being one of the founders, wanted to make sure that Ryan had genuine interest in the job. Therefore, he conducted several interviews just to be sure whether this would indeed be the right fit. In the end, Jeff was impressed by this newcomer and eventually decided to hire Ryan. However, there were some challenges regarding this arrangement. You see, Rooster Teeth was located in Austin, while Ryan resided in Corpus Christi, approximately 350 kilometers apart, translating to a 3.5-hour drive by car. This posed a serious dilemma regarding his involvement with the company. Ultimately, he was brought on board as a part-time remote worker to oversee, manage, and edit videos for the newly established Game Fails YouTube channel. This channel was a spin-off from another series called Fails of the Week that focused on wacky moments that were introduced by glitches or player errors.
That's a coffin.
Coffin,
Thank
yeah.
you, Ray.
And here
yeah,
it goes.
we're not stopping.
Easy peasy.
All right, so he's, He's got the wheel stuck. He's like, all right, just never letting it. So he ended his life
He'll be
right
there
there.
in Skate 4, actually.
However, managing game fails wasn't the only project he was involved in. He also contributed to other YouTube channels affiliated with Rooster Teeth, which can be seen in his very first video for Achievement Hunter titled A Video Game Tour of New York City, uploaded in June of 2011.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff and Jack from Achievement Hunter. And Jack, I've got a special video for
New York
you
City
today.
tours Times Square.
Yeah, this is a video that we had our behind-the-scenes guy, Ryan, make. And it is...
This marked the very first mention of Ryan's name by the Rooster Teeth crew, and from this point onward, his presence is bound to grow even further. This was amplified by the fact that in another Achievement Hunter video, produced in the same month, he spoke for the first time while attempting to narrate how to get the Librarian achievement in The Witcher 2.
What's up, guys? It is Jack and a brand new guest, Ryan. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey guys.
What are we doing?
We're doing an achievement from The Witcher 2 called Librarian.
Librarian.
Exciting.
Are we gonna stack books?
Well, yeah, a couple. Sheaves of paper. Yeah. A lot more fun than books.
No humans with stack books like these.
No.
All right.
The other individual featured in this video is Jake Patillo, one of the co-founders of Achievement Hunter and an integral figure within the organization. This official debut could also be seen as something of a transition for Ryan as he gradually shifted from working behind the scenes to appearing on stage. It was evident that he had the potential to ascend high within the company structure, but the challenge associated with the distance between his home and workplace remained a significant issue. To address this problem and secure a more permanent role in his job, in early September 2011, Ryan and his wife Lori relocated to Austin. Once there, he was officially hired by Rooster Teeth as a machinima animator and technical director for Red vs. Blue. It's worth noting that this wasn't some insignificant role, because during this period Red vs. Blue held immense importance for the company, and there were several reasons why. Firstly, it boosted a dedicated fanbase since its inception in 2003, which ensured consistent viewership and engagement. Additionally, the series had become synonymous with Rooster Teeth's identity, playing a pivotal role in establishing their organization as a leading figure in online video content creation.
Hey, Tucker, I need you to leave. I can't actually do it on my own.
Carolina, you've got to calm down.
Don't tell me how to lead my squad, Washington. Now, sweep the area and report back to me when you're done.
On it, boss.
This significance was further showcased in May of 2012 when a video titled Dear YouTube was uploaded, commemorating 1 billion views for the channel.
Which is kind of creepy.
And now, after 9 years of shows,
Shorts.
And sketches.
We've reached 1 billion views on YouTube.
In this video, various team members expressed gratitude to the audience, and it was during this segment that Ryan briefly appeared, introduced alongside other animators. Describing the animation team as busy during this period would be an understatement of massive proportions. In 2012, Red vs. Blue was undergoing intensive production, largely due to its significant evolution from its humble machinima beginnings. The most noticeable change was in the technical realm, with a considerable increase in choreographed fight scenes and various other elements demanding a more intricate production process, including custom animations, voice acting and complex editing. As a result, meeting the deadlines for the series premiere seemed increasingly impossible. Eager to ensure the timely completion of Red vs. Blue, Rooster Teeth's CEO Bernie Burns made a proposition to Ryan. If he could complete the animation and editing work for Season 10 on schedule, he would be free to do whatever else he wanted. By early 2013, as Red vs. Blue Season 10 concluded, Ryan made a transition from the RT animation department to become more deeply involved with Achievement Hunter. This shift indicated his strong affinity for this sector of the company. Joining Achievement Hunter enabled him to actively engage in the creation of gaming-related content, perfectly aligning with his interests and skills.
No stopping, Ryan. You need to kill this guy.
Grab that man tracker.
Oh, that's your speed.
Don't bother fighting him.
Shut up! For the love of God.
Get real close to him, but don't do anything.
Fall
Grab the
for
man
the
tracker.
loudest,
Man tracker.
dumbest
No.
man.
Bring in the man
Shut
tracker.
up!
God.
This move suggests his genuine enthusiasm for the team and their work. The first ever Let's Play he participated in occurred while he was still working as an animator, taking place in March of 2012. From that moment forward, Ryan's influence within the company continued to grow steadily, mostly because he would consistently appear in videos. His regular participation in various gaming content definitely boosted his growing popularity. He also contributed creatively by introducing new ideas, concepts and series that resonated with the viewers. His original input helped maintain the freshness and excitement of the channel's content. With such an extensive track record of dedicated effort, it's no surprise that he rose to prominence, and soon he became one of the main hosts of Achievement Hunter. Alongside Jeff Ramsey, Jack Patillo, Gavin Free, Michael Jones, Lindsey Jones, and Ray Jr.
Week 2. Right. Okay. Rules broken. So, this week, if somebody wants to get a sticker on the coveted free pizza party, I got one. The Go Pizza. Jack's got one. Jack is a fifth of a way towards a pizza.
Do you think it's that time to dry?
No. It's gonna take months.
I had glitter on my hands.
From this point onward, Ryan began to carve out an image for himself that would become integrated with the team's identity. His involvement in numerous projects quickly elevated him to a household name among the fanbase. It's challenging to capture all of his accomplishments during his stay at Rooster Teeth, given his significant role within the company. I could give you a few examples, like his involvement with The Patch, where he served as one of the main hosts.
Side of the pipe, like I've got X bandwidth on my side, but it's situations like that where you get to understand, oh yeah, their side has a bandwidth cap as well, and there's only so much room through that pipe.
What else can you tell us about your pipe?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
The Patch was a weekly podcast dedicated to recent gaming events and topics related to the industry. While it may not have been as popular as some other content posted on the channel, it still garnered enough audience engagement to maintain a commendable track record of 188 episodes. On the same note, in 2013, Rooster Teeth's animated web series Ruby made its debut. The show was set in the fantasy world of Remnant, filled with supernatural forces and mystical creatures. Ruby demonstrated the potential for independent online creators such as Rooster Teeth to produce high-quality animated content and cultivate a loyal audience directly through digital platforms. Although Ryan was no longer an animator at this point, he contributed to the series by lending his voice to a character named Peter Port. He also lent his voice to a few characters for the iconic Red vs. Blue, which remained one of the company's most iconic series. There are numerous other instances where Ryan's presence was noticed, like his occasional participation in the gaming show On the Spot, a weekly production featuring two teams of Rooster Teeth employees and guests competing in various improvised games and challenges.
Gerbils. Polar bear.
When you're near polar bears.
Yes, early warning system.
I like how it's not just a ninja midget, it's a loose ninja midget. So it was like, it was being restrained
Well, he was in
somehow.
a carrier.
Oh my.
Oh, good lord.
Thank you, Ryan. That's all that matters. At the end of this game, as long as you like
Little
me,
people.
I like the idea of you get near one of your friends and their boobs don't light up and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
300 gerbils and that'll just solve both problems.
Or the woman with the 600 cats in her van.
The goal was to earn points by being funny, quick-witted and creative in their responses. He also co-hosted another podcast known as Off Topic, which covered a wide range of topics including video games, current events, personal stories, and behind-the-scenes insights on the team's work.
I got underwear for Christmas as well. Yeah. Fucking fantastic. I got some nice shirts. I got a new jacket. It's great. I'm wearing my old jacket.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I got a new jacket.
What did everybody get for? What did you get for Christmas there, Ryan?
Waffle iron.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Is it shaped like anything or just
Is it the kind?
waffle
That,
iron?
let me ask you this, because we got a waffle iron.
Yeah.
Is it the kind that you can flip?
Oh yeah.
Ah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
made
You
some
double up on
pecan
waffles.
Yeah.
The podcast became known for its casual and often humorous discussions, providing fans with a more personal and informal look at the personalities behind Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth. However, Off Topic will be very important for us later, so try to remember this name. I also have a big urge to mention that Ryan appeared on what some may consider one of Rooster Teeth's most underappreciated series, The Gauntlet. The Gauntlet was a blend of TV show and competition hosted by Bernie Burns and Joel Heyman. In many ways, it was a masterclass of comedy that perfectly represented everything Rooster Teeth was at the time. A group of friends doing what they love while trying to make people laugh. By the way, do you recall when Ryan appeared in a magazine during his teenage years as a professional model? Well, those photos would be released during the extra live stream when the team reached the impressive goal of $200,000. This very interesting moment allowed us to gain a deeper insight into his early life.
I think he's in there, right? Oh, he's not?
It's all kids in there.
Okay, here we go. So that is Mr. That's James Ryan Haywood right there.
No, it isn't.
That is Ryan.
It is not. It looks like, I thought you were going to say Alan Richardson.
It does look like
It's his jawline.
This is the late 90s, I think early 2000s. So this is an ID card of him when he went to a show, I want to say in Milan. So like this is literally his ID he would carry around with him. There's another beautiful, look at that.
He's got the same
hair. Oh my God, he is so nice.
Look at that, look at that.
That's the exact hair from Sean from Boy Meets World.
He was the misunderstood teen, Sean from Boy Meets World.
It's worth mentioning that during these accomplishments, his primary focus remained on Achievement Hunter. As one of the main hosts, his responsibilities involved spending time with the rest of the team, playing games together, and contributing ideas for which titles to play next. Initially, they concentrated on creating content centered around video game achievements, hence the name. Their early efforts mainly revolved around showcasing guides, offering tips, and crafting humorous videos related to gaming achievements across different platforms. As the community around Achievement Hunter grew, so did the demand for more diverse and entertaining content. Fans began to seek more than just straightforward guides. They wanted to see the personalities behind the voices, to experience the camaraderie and comedy that the team exhibited. This growing demand prompted Achievement Hunter to experiment with various types of videos, and soon they discovered a suitable format that was simple yet highly entertaining to watch, catapulting them to new heights of popularity. Let's Plays.
All right, my screen's fixed, everyone.
Oh, I'm so sad about my dead family. Ah.
It's all right, we still got
Let's try that again, Lindsay.
Wait,
here, get
at the same
down.
time?
Stand next to me. Let's both try to get in at the same time.
Ready? Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Go.
This shift in focus was probably met with some form of resistance within the team. One of the primary concerns about expanding into Let's Plays may have been the immense competition within the online gaming community. In the late 2000s and 2010s, the landscape of online gaming content was rapidly evolving, and established platforms like YouTube were becoming saturated with gaming content. This made it challenging for new channels in the Let's Play genre to gain visibility. Nevertheless, Achievement Hunter's initial focus on achievement guides allowed them to carve out a specific niche, reducing the risk of being overshadowed by larger, more established gameplay channels. Over time, the Let's Play videos made by the team became noticeably successful, which definitely boosted their confidence to make more of them to appease the audience. But nothing could prepare them for the overwhelming popularity that was generated by one of their series.
Get out of the water! I'm nuts! Oh, I got an achievement!
Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to our Minecraft Let's Play.
I'm gonna hit someone with some wood.
I am coming for you. Capture the map.
Hey, are we gonna make a house?
Jeff!
Dude, I'm jacking this tree off like crazy.
Dude, how do you get over yet? You're fucking
Done it.
Yes, you son of a, you beautiful bastard!
Gavin! Oh! We were like 10 seconds away!
This is intense.
Oh, did I get you?
No! You little shit! Holy that just fucking mixed me!
Oh my god!
It's difficult to overstate the significance of these videos. This series was a masterpiece of online entertainment, seamlessly blending the simplicity and creativity of Minecraft with the humor and camaraderie of a group of friends playing together. In a field as competitive and saturated as gameplay content, the ability of these guys to not just survive, but thrive was truly remarkable. Ryan wasn't part of this group in the beginning, considering that the series started when he was still an animator, but he would occasionally appear in later episodes until he became a permanent host. His gradual involvement showcased what made this series so memorable. Another unique aspect of these videos was how they were created. Unlike many Minecraft series that focused solely on survival mode or creative building, Achievement Hunter's videos blended structured challenges and minigames with spontaneous, often chaotic gameplay. Each episode had unique objectives such as building competitions, obstacle courses or scavenger hunts, all of which would begin from their base of operations known as Achievement City. However, the true appeal of Let's Play Minecraft lies not just in the game itself, but in the chemistry and banter between the Achievement Hunter crew. It was as much a journey for the viewers as it was for the hosts, considering how many comical moments occurred while these guys were making their gameplay videos. Many inside jokes were created.
In my house! Why in my house?
Gammy's trophy room of victory?
Yeah! What are you doing in there? That's my private room!
Gavin has a private room with a tower of pimps. He has a buried tower of pimps.
Get the hell out of here.
What are you about? It's my victory tower.
There's one tower. Oh, and Gavin drowned.
Where is he?
Oh,
look at this!
Look at this.
Hunger Games.
Wow, do you have a note from your mom in here, too?
Is there like a second wall?
I love
you're
you,
like
Gabby Webby.
In a way, the series developed its own lore and recurring themes, such as the iconic Tower of Pimps, a structure made of 4 gold blocks on top of the obsidian block, which served as a prize for the host who won that week's challenge. Each member brought their own unique personality to the table, from the delinquent antics of Gavin Free to the deadpan wit of Michael Jones. All of this created a dynamic and entertaining atmosphere that kept viewers coming back for more. Ryan, on the other hand, was known for his cunning and strategic gameplay, often devising elaborate plans and schemes to outsmart his fellow achievement hunters and gain the upper hand in various challenges and competitions within the game. Being a regular host for many episodes, he was also tied to many inside jokes. For example, in Achievement City, he had a house known as the Kung Fu House due to the fighter's painting on the front. He was also known for naming animals Edgar, the most famous of which was the cow that was trapped inside his house. But one of the more prominent things he became known for was his alias, the Mad King. This name originated from Minecraft Let's Play episode 60, where one of the challenges involved Ryan taking on the role of a king who would order tasks. The team member who completed the tasks the fastest would win the Tower of Pimps for that week. The minigame was quite unique and became a recurring challenge in many episodes. What made Ryan memorable was how his tasks often forced other members to kill each other in order to complete them, which eventually led to the infamous nickname the Mad King. This alias also stemmed from his in-game persona, where he often exhibited chaotic and unpredictable behavior, much like some insane ruler.
Look, that was the original
you don't
Edgar.
understand. Edgar is the one in the hole.
Dude, if I end up in the hole of Edgar.
Oh my God,
there, Edgar.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Disturbing person.
His name is Robert
Ryan is
Paulson.
a lunatic.
I am terrified.
You know, the worst part is, I came back to improve Edgar's living conditions. I was gonna.
It encapsulated his funny and psychotic antics within the game, aligning with the persona of an unpredictable ruler causing mayhem in his domain. This identity transcended the Minecraft videos and reoccurred in other Rooster Teeth content as well. The astonishing success of Let's Play Minecraft showcased the great chemistry within the Achievement Hunter team. They prioritized humor, storytelling, and viewer engagement by creating various pranks or exaggerated reactions that made the content more entertaining and accessible even to those who were not avid gamers. The unscripted nature of the players' interactions and the unexpected in-game events added a layer of unpredictability. Add to this formula the amazing and innovative minigames that often generated these effects, and you have a series where every episode is a rollercoaster of emotions. To illustrate just how significant the Let's Play series was for Ryan and rest of the team, they eventually came up with Let's Play Live, an event that had never been done before and whose concept sounded completely insane.
Hold on. Let's Play Live is the newest form of gaming entertainment to premiere in Austin. You'll have the opportunity to see your favorite members of Achievement Hunter doing what they do best. You're going to play video games, and people are going to come out and watch you play video games.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Wow.
We got the ACL Theater, about 1,800 people come to watch this thing, and we're going to be playing video games for about 3 hours straight.
The basic idea was to create a live show where members of Achievement Hunter played video games in front of a live audience. The entire thing sounded so ridiculous and almost optimistic by many standards. standards. Who would organize an event that involved such a high risk? Coordinating the logistics of a live event of this magnitude, including venue setup, scheduling, equipment setup and transportation for both staff and attendees, can be complex and prone to unexpected complications. Not to mention that maintaining the quality and appropriateness of content presented during the show, particularly in a live setting where there may be less control over spontaneous moments or interactions, requires vigilance and moderation. Yet, despite many possible problems, they actually went for it and the result was an astonishing success. The theater seats sold out, and this unique opportunity allowed fans to see their favorite personalities from the channel perform live, unfiltered, raw, and honest. The already mentioned charisma and humor among the team added entertainment value to the entire event. Their ability to play off each other's personalities and create spontaneous comedic moments definitely made for an amazingly fun atmosphere. While Let's Play Live may not have had the same mainstream recognition as some other gaming moments, it was significant within the gaming and online content creation community, serving as yet another reminder of how much of a pioneering juggernaut Rooster Teeth was at the time. It is undeniable that Ryan was part of something big. Initially, he may have been considered a relatively minor figure within the company, but over time, Ryan's talents, personality, and many contributions helped him become one of the main cast members. It was hard to imagine Achievement Hunter without Ryan, since his persona resonated strongly with the audience, leading to high popularity and recognition in the community. And this is what he would be doing for the majority of his stay with Rooster Teeth. It's worth mentioning that on the side, he even started to stream on Twitch, indicating that there were some aspects to his work that he preferred to do alone. Despite this, he continued to play a central role in many of the Achievement Hunter's most popular and successful video series, such as Let's Play, Achievement Guides, and Versus. Ryan's journey from a seemingly insignificant role to one of the main cast members was not just an example of his talent, but also of the opportunities provided by the company's supportive and collaborative culture. Unfortunately, in the background, things were starting to boil, and the result of this tension would be an immense explosion whose blast would crack and eventually destroy the seemingly nice and innocent facade that Ryan was presenting to the world. The fallout of the said destruction would not only impact him, but would also have a lasting effect on his audience and, most importantly, his colleagues.
And I spoke at length with Trevor and Lewis last night until probably 2 in the morning. And so I'll just run through the options with you because I want you to understand the thought process. Obviously, Rooster Teeth laid off about 50 people yesterday. You've read the statement from Matt. A fair amount of you have done your armchair CEOing. That's obviously devastating and one of the darkest days in the history of our company. And I hope it's one of the darkest days going forward.
A wise man once said, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." The incredible growth of Rooster Teeth brought with it some unforeseen consequences, such as a wave of controversy that seemingly crippled the company's sparklingly clean image. The first real drama started in 2014 when Rooster Teeth was acquired by Warner Bros. As expected, fans were worried that this change would result in corporate mandates or interference with the content's production process. This concern stemmed from a broader skepticism about how large corporations handle creative entities, potentially prioritizing profit over the authenticity and originality that attracted the audience in the first place. In 2015, Ray Narvaez Jr. left Achievement Hunter, which was a significant blow when you consider his contributions during his time with the team.
All right, I'm going in.
I'll drink
I'm
water
not coming
for you.
back.
Bye, Ray. Let me know what the outside water's like.
I will. Goodbye, Ray.
Bye, Ray.
Bye, Ray.
Here.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, buddy.
That year was also marked by the death of Monty a main animator and director of Red vs. Blue and Ruby. It is needless to say that Monty was another beloved member of the company that left us too soon. Over the years, even more prominent employees would leave Rooster Teeth for various reasons. And as if that wasn't enough, some serious accusations of racism, sexism and other troubling behavior in the organization and within the fandom started to circulate online. Considering all of these problems, it wasn't that hard to conclude that this once respected community had turned into an absolute trash fire.
And in that process, Mika shared her experience working at Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter. And it was like a punch to the gut that I needed. I wanted to have this discussion today, and I told her in person, and I want to tell you, and I want to tell the world that I am sorry to Mika for her experience working at Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth. I am sorry I was not a more vocal supporter of her. I am sorry I was so...
The video in question originates from the previously mentioned off-topic podcast on June 4th, 2020, where some participants discussed harassment and negative behavior towards certain members of Rooster Teeth. It's evident from the tone of Jeff's voice that he did not take the situation lightly. And how can we blame him considering that the year had already been quite terrible? It is truly unfortunate that he had no idea of what was yet to come. Because despite all of the drama that was circulating during this time, nothing could compare to the scandal that would soon engulf Rooster Teeth. For anyone familiar with the types of videos I make on various internet personalities, you might have noticed a pattern in my previous entries. The themes of rise and eventual fall are always present, but the fall segment usually comes after a long period of degradation, often because the subjects of our videos make a series of horrible decisions that eventually render them irrelevant or hated by the community. However, in this situation, it only took one controversy for Ryan's entire career to crumble. On October 8, 2020, Rooster Teeth announced that it had let go of 2 employees for breaching the company's code of conduct. It was soon revealed that these 2 employees were Adam Kovic and Ryan Haywood. Soon after, Ryan posted the following statement on Twitter. I made mistakes and will be leaving Rooster Teeth to focus on rebuilding my family and life. I'm sorry to anyone I've hurt. I want to say emphatically that I never did anything illegal. The consequences of my actions are mine to deal with. Please stop harassing and threatening my family. To fully understand the cause of this situation, we need to examine the events of the past month and, more importantly, everything that happened after Ryan's firing. The incident that is about to unfold is quite complicated and descriptions of various events are rather blurry. So, to better understand everything that has happened, I used the information from the subreddit OutOfTheLoop, where a user created a thread named What is going on with Rooster Teeth members Adam Kovic and Ryan Haywood. Needless to say, this post and its responses have been a great help in comprehending the circumstances of this scandal and piecing together the timeline of many events. So, to better understand what is going on, let's start at a moment in history that triggered this entire charade. On September 7th, 2020, nude photos of Adam Kovic and a picture of Ryan Haywood in his underwear were leaked online. The user who posted them claimed they obtained these photos by catfishing the 2 men, posing as a female Instagram model. Later on, 4 GB of nude pictures and videos of Adam were discovered and linked by a different user. On the same day, these pictures reached 4chan on a thread within one of the site's boards, where users usually share and discuss images of attractive men. By October 4th, leaks reached Kiwi Farms and the politically incorrect board on 4chan. This time, numerous genuine-looking photos of Ryan in various stages of undress were released. It is unclear where all this new evidence originated, as the person who initially shared the photo of Ryan in his underwear claimed they did not come from him. The big question is, what do these pictures mean and why are they so important? Well, during this time, some serious accusations surfaced about Ryan engaging in sexual relationships with his very young fans, and it was alleged that these explicit photos were sent as a part of a series of inappropriate interactions he had with them. Apparently, these interactions sometimes occurred online and sometimes even in person. It is important to mention that no evidence of any illegal behavior was shown during this time, but despite that, allegations of grooming were all over the internet. These accusations seem to have originated on 4chan's politics board. Considering the lack of evidence for these claims, it is thought that they were politically motivated in spreading them, especially since that same board criticized Rooster Teeth's liberal bias and their anti-Trump stance. On October 6th, the first individual spoke out about their inappropriate relationship with Ryan, and this took the form of a YouTube video uploaded by Tessa Graves.
My name is Tessa, and I've had an experience with Ryan Haywood. I met Ryan in 2017. I was born in 2000. My birthday was about a month before PAX, a little bit over a month. I turned 17. He was brought to PAX 2017. It was PAX Prime, PAX West, by a different... He wasn't there with Rooster Teeth, he was there as a streamer. I met him the first day. He was nice, he was cordial. September 1st, 2017, I met him. I talked with him on Instagram, talked with him on Snapchat. He was really nice, it was great. One day I sent a photo to him that wasn't meant for him. It wasn't anything like dirty. It was like from here up. You could see my bra strap. Really inappropriate. Sorry. He responded in a certain way. And things kind of took off from there.
The girl in question came forward, claiming that she had been in a virtual relationship with Ryan for 2 years after they met at PAX in 2017. They even made plans to meet up for sex in Austin, but the plan fell through. When this video first surfaced, it was disliked, bombed into oblivion for various reasons. The most obvious one was that this seemingly unknown individual was trying to cancel one of the most beloved members of the Rooster Teeth community. She also openly admitted that she had lied about her age in their conversations, leading many viewers to believe that Ryan could have been blindsided. Additionally, she would make fun of his wife on Twitter, even though in her own video she stated that no one outside of this drama should be involved. It was a really messy situation, and Tessa definitely did not respond to the backlash in the most productive way. But she wouldn't be the only person who tried to rock the boat, because on October 7th, several members of Ryan's Twitch moderation team came forward with a story about how 2 years prior he had sent a series of inappropriate messages to an unknown fan. The story, including screenshots, was secretly provided to them by a friend of the said fan. In their posts, they stated that they confronted Ryan at the time and he supposedly admitted to it. His excuse was that the messages never got too graphic and he promised that it wouldn't happen again. Unfortunately, this was as far as they could go with their examination because the fan in question refused to cooperate. As a result, the MUD team hit a dead end in their ability to investigate further, ultimately leaving us with another accusation without any concrete proof of indecent behavior. But despite all of this, it was obvious that some serious allegations were brewing behind the scenes, and it only got worse from here. This leads us to October 8th, when all of the accusations reached Rooster Teeth, resulting in the infamous tweet announcing the termination of the 2 employees. Literally a day later, another victim came forward in a video response sharing their own story and uncomfortable interactions with Ryan. This time, the jig was finally up, and the Mad King was about to feel the immense heat that was slowly but surely coming his way.
This past week has been exhausting, as I'm sure many of you can also relate. I'm going to be discussing in this video my relationship with Ryan Haywood and the patterns that I have now just come to realize after talking to so many girls with similar stories with me, with similar traits as me. But I have just been seeing so many comments on Reddit and Twitter, and especially on Tessa's video, of so many people blaming her And so many people saying, oh, it's 50-50, how could she lie about her age by a year? And Ryan just made a mistake. I'm here to say that this was a mistake and he doesn't deserve your empathy. The people he engaged with does. I and others need the community now more than ever to back us up.
In this new video, a girl named Michelle would reveal a lot of dirty laundry. First, she explained how she met Ryan by messaging him on Instagram, which initiated their conversation.
It all started when Ryan made an Instagram in August 2017. I was 17 years old, and I DM'd him just as a fan, telling him how much I admired him and loved him. He replied back and I was ecstatic. We went back and forth, just joking and being really friendly. That was until he checked my Instagram and he saw my pictures. He then changed tones and instantly was kind of flirty, saying, I'd show you, but I'm about to hop in the shower, so it'll be a lot more of a show than anyone wants.
Eventually, the conversation did turn sexual, which he initiated, leading Ryan to share many inappropriate and personal details with a fan he had never met before. They then arranged to meet in a hotel room for sex while he was in Los Angeles with the rest of the Achievement Hunter team when they were doing a Let's Play family reunion.
I asked him eventually, what's the situation with you and your wife? Honestly, he gave me kind of a sob story of saying that he does love her. He deeply does, but that the one thing that they've been missing in their happy marriage is just the physical intimacy. I know it's no excuse, and I'm so sorry to Lori, but I guess my reasoning was that I thought that maybe if I could satisfy his physical needs, then his marriage could continue to stay happy and loving, and nothing would change. Clearly, I was foolish and very, very wrong, but we started sexting consistently after that, and in September was when Achievement Hunter was doing something in LA, I'm not sure, and Ryan came, we got a hotel, and it was September 23, 2017, when I lost my virginity to him.
One of the more disturbing aspects of this encounter was that Michelle was 17 at the time, a fact Ryan only found out after the intercourse, and it wasn't even something he was bothered with.
He never really asked for my age. He asked me if I was in high school or college, and I was in college. But side note, if you're doing something, you're a man asking a girl if she's in high school or college, it's probably a good sign to not sleep with her. But that's just my opinion. It lasted hours and it was very rough. I really thought that Ryan cared for me. He created a safe place for me for years to be open and vulnerable with him. He once told me at RTX 2018, after I told him about some mental health issues, it was so hard to even think about coming out or seeing anything wrong with what happened.
The reason this video gained so much positive traction is that Michelle showed many DMs that backed her case and even shared images of Ryan in the hotel room where they stayed together. There was a lot of genuine proof of emotional manipulation and sexual exploitation of an obviously young and impressionable person. And this one accusation is going to be just one of many that will expose this man's depravity. By mid-October, the story had gone viral across the internet, bringing the wider public's attention to the termination of the two employees and their unacceptable behavior. I want to stress that, although Adam Kovic's actions were deplorable, at that time there was no evidence of grooming on his part. Nevertheless, he also faced his fair share of these disturbing accusations. It appeared as if Adam might have been unfairly grouped with more credible allegations against Ryan, possibly due to their images being released at the same time and the likelihood of them both being catfished by the same person. Despite this, it was still Ryan who would bear the brunt of the impending backlash. YouTubers started making videos and online articles addressed the controversy.
But recently, things have been going really bad for Rooster Teeth. Some things have come out against Ryan Haywood, a 39-year-old member of Achievement Hunter. He's been exposed for sexting multiple minors, going after his fans specifically since they wouldn't say no to him since he's their idol. This has set not only Rooster Teeth, but almost all of the channels and their fandoms on fire, especially since Adam Kovic, another member of Rooster Teeth, has also been accused of sending nudes to minors, along with his former friends bashing him and his behavior, which has led to people not trusting him either. This has led to both of them being fired and Rooster Teeth doing damage control.
As if that wasn't enough, even more victims came forward with their own horrible experiences, and there were so many of them that a Twitter account named Victims of Ryan Haywood was created to bring forth these kinds of stories from previously unheard victims. The public was in shock and disbelief. How could someone with such a charming on-screen presence and who was part of a beloved group do something so dreadful? The entire scandal escalated as more victims shared their experiences, leading to widespread outrage and condemnation. Online platforms were flooded with discussions about the situation, and many called for accountability and justice. The community that once admired this man and his group now grappled with these disturbing revelations. One of the most striking and perhaps ironic details of this entire story is how Ryan's online persona always portrayed him as someone who was unpredictable, possibly mad, and even psychotic. Yet, it was presented in a fun and charming manner. It was akin to how one might expect a good and decent person to behave if asked to act like a maniac. Little did we know, this facet of his personality was far more authentic than we had initially anticipated. Amidst this chaos, you are probably wondering how his co-workers reacted to these developments. Well, firstly, they attempted to distance themselves from him as much as possible. This extended to the point where they postponed the new season of Red vs. Blue in order to re-record all of his voice lines. Additionally, many Rooster Teeth employees shared their own responses on Twitter and other social media platforms, most of whom were not just his former colleagues, but also his former friends. Yet, the most significant response came from a livestream featuring Michael Jones and Jack Patillo, both of whom were the main hosts of Achievement Hunter, meaning they were probably very close to Ryan during his stay at the company. This time, however, they weren't making jokes or exaggerating reactions. They addressed their audience with a raw and even emotional sincerity, which was appropriate given the gravity of the situation.
Everything that's happened this past week has been crushing. It's been overwhelming, and watching something we built up be hit so hard, having no idea what was happening, just being completely blindsided by it. And just going through the amount of emotions of anger and sadness and rage and guilt and everything. And it's please understand how crushed we are too. This just every single story, everything I've read, every report that's come out is just one more just punch to the gut. And
when the first information came out, we all wanted to just assume that it was fake or exaggerated or somehow taken out of context. And day after day, it just became more and more apparent that it wasn't.
There was, I sat literally on the next desk from that monster for years, and I had no idea any of this stuff happened.
It is clear to everyone that a profound sadness weaves through every frame of this video. Jack's voice, usually so full of cheer, trembles with the burden of betrayal and disappointment, while Michael's eyes speak with a raw honesty that cuts through the silence, each word a testament to the pain and confusion felt by everyone. This stream now stands as a reminder of the humanity behind the headlines, a heartfelt plea for understanding and a step towards a more accountable future. However, moving in the right direction might be easier said than done. As Jack mentioned in this video, Ryan was such an integral part of Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter that erasing his presence from the company is practically impossible. From this point on, into the infinite future, his shadow will always linger over their legacy, like an inoperable tumor that is slowly killing its victim. It wasn't that hard to conclude that probably every member of the team felt immense anger and frustration not only towards Ryan and Adam, but also at the situation that tarnished the reputation of their community. There was a lot of weight on their shoulders to support the victims, ensure such behavior is not tolerated within their organization, and address the obvious long-term impact of the scandal on their brand. This was especially challenging considering how Rooster Teeth wasn't exactly in their golden era during this time period. Despite that, the next course of action was clear: continue making content, interact with the community, and never mention Ryan's name again. While the team tried to forget the monster they once called a friend, the full story of his actions was still unfolding on various social media. There were still many victims coming forward and new evidence that people managed to piece together. For starters, remember when Ryan was in LA and that whole situation with Michelle happened? Well, during their stay at the hotel, the rest of the Achievement Hunter team had already left Los Angeles, meaning that Ryan was the only one who stayed behind. In an episode of RT Life, Ryan gave an insanely elaborate and fake story about why he missed the flight back home. All the while, his co-hosts had no idea he actually stayed on purpose to engage in indecent behavior with a fan.
Let me tell you, this is what you guys missed that morning.
Wait, you didn't make it home?
Let me tell you what you guys missed that morning.
I heard some of this on your stream, Ryan.
Yeah, so, I scheduled the pickup, the Uber pickup.
Okay.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, no one came.
Oh.
No one came
It's
for like
never
an hour and a
failed me.
half.
Did you cancel and
I
retry?
installed Lyft. I had both of them going at the same time. One motherfucker even called me. He's like, I don't feel like it. Can you just cancel for me? That was on Lyft.
Wow.
Which there's an option on Lyft for driver. It taunted me because it was like, you're checked in.
That goes there, Jack.
But I can't give you a
just can't
ticket.
make it fit right now.
Thank you.
Why can't it give you a ticket?
I don't know. It just said you're checked in, but I can't give you.
Oh, so you did miss the flight?
Yeah, no, I missed the flight.
That
There was
sucks.
another flight at noon that got me home at 5:55.
This wasn't even an isolated incident when you consider that Ryan had many stories about missed flights or delayed returns home, something the rest of the team actually commented on during the Off-Topic podcast.
Best friends with my kid.
Ryan also tries every chance he has to stay everywhere an extra day. He's like, I can stay in a hotel room by myself or deal with two insane children all day long.
That's fair.
I'll take the hotel.
I had a good back and forth with Ryan on the last Ghost Hunt we went on about leaving the next day, of like getting home, because like Jeremy and I were on super early flights. You were going to Boston, I was coming back home. But
and
we
I
were
did
on like the same
standby
flight.
on your flight just to hope to get home earlier.
Right, like 5 hours earlier,
Yeah.
because you're like Ryan was
Degenerate.
like, yeah, but Ryan was just like, oh, why you gotta go home? Just sleep in. I'm like, I mean, I'll just sleep in when I get home. He's like, yeah, but you gotta get up early. You gotta travel. You gotta get home. Like, just stay in the hotel and just sleep here until you get home. And I was like, yeah, but I want to get home. I want to I was like, I can just as easily get home and go to sleep at home. And he's like, what's the difference then? If you're sleeping here and you wake up and you fly home, or you fly home now and go to sleep, like you sleep and you're gonna wake up. And I'm like, yeah, but I can sleep like in my own bed.
Looking at it now, it is much more sinister to listen to, knowing what was happening beneath the scenes. Surprisingly, this was still not the end of the story for Michelle, because after Ryan got exposed, he bombarded her with a slew of messages, begging for the video to be deleted and even threatening that he would unalive himself if she didn't comply. It was clear that he was in full self-defense mode, but nothing could be done to stop the wave of new allegations. For example, another fan came forward with serious evidence of their sexual interactions, providing screenshots of their conversations and even sharing some real-life pictures. The original document containing the statement is unfortunately no longer available, but there is some information about the affair written on the already mentioned Reddit thread. The author asserts that she began exchanging nude photos with Ryan starting in 2018 and had sexual encounters with him multiple times over the following year. Their relationship began at RTX 2018, where they had sex for the first time, and continued until RTX 2019. She claims that they continued sexting until September of 2020. The most insensitive fact about this story is how Ryan actually paid for this girl's flights in order to meet each other. What's more insane is that we actually have receipts, and one of his Twitch mods confirmed that the email used to pay for these flights is the one his Twitch account is attached to. This is particularly startling, since Ryan repeatedly assured his audience that all the money he gained on Twitch would go towards his kids' college fund. However, after this new evidence, it becomes much clearer that these donations may have been used to fund his many affairs. It is important to note that the author was a consenting adult throughout their interactions and does not consider herself a victim. But she does question whether she was manipulated due to the power imbalance inherent to the fan/personality dynamic, as well as her own vulnerabilities related to mental health. Take this last statement as you will. Just as before, he reached out to the fan after being exposed, throwing a massive pity party in these messages, claiming that his career and marriage were over. Once again, he attempted to emotionally manipulate someone by suggesting that he was close to self-harming. It is evident that Ryan has a disturbing interest in young women with mental health issues, which he exploits for sexual favors. Despite this, he still refers to his actions as mistakes. A mistake is forgetting to buy something at the grocery store or accidentally bumping into a table and breaking a glass. Using your position as a popular figure in the online entertainment industry to take advantage of vulnerable young women is not a mistake, it is outright evil behavior. Consider this fan who in 2017 began regularly chatting with Ryan on Snapchat. She would eventually face bullying from other community members for being too close to him, which led to her mental breakdown. Instead of intervening, Ryan exploited her vulnerable state by getting into contact with her to show support, which eventually led to them having an affair. Like many other lovers who inquired about his wife, he claimed that he still loved her but said their marriage lacked physical intimacy, which I guess justified his awful behavior. Continuing the trend of disturbing stuff associated with this man, another story soon surfaced online, quickly becoming one of the most recognized on this topic. This fan brought forward a series of new allegations supported by many screenshots, including one of her and Ryan in a hotel room where they met for sex. The story is highly graphic and details many unsettling moments that occurred during their interactions. From 2017 to 2018, this girl claims that she initiated sexting with Ryan, which led to unprotected sex 11 times over the course of a year. She never had any feelings for him, but continued the relationship just to maintain his attention. He was very rough during their encounters, and despite her bringing up this several times and his promises to be gentler, he never changed. Many other victims that she had been in contact with have told her that on some occasions they couldn't even sit or walk after having sexual intercourse with him. At one point, he would blame her for the pain she experienced during their encounters. Ryan engaged in numerous other troubling actions towards her and other girls. This includes choking them forcefully without any warning or consent. Despite having multiple sexual relationships at the time, Ryan wasn't a big fan of using protection, and apparently, one of the girls he was involved with even contracted an STD because of this. The entire conversation with this particular fan was quite graphic, even by his high standards. To understand the true extent of this, just watch this segment of the Off Topic podcast where Ryan took an unusually intense liking to the cupcake he was eating.
You gotta run. Just don't put it in your mouth.
I think the best thing calorie-wise is like, it's like swimming, right?
Swimming
Isn't that the
good.
best
Swimming
thing?
is
It's
like
I suck at it.
rowing is
but
good. Weight training.
I go on my
Rowing is good
trampoline
too.
a lot.
What's that?
I go on my trampoline.
That's pretty good. That's good for you.
That's not bad. That's pretty good for you. Stop dropping it on that cake.
Drop shit into the cake.
I'm just getting suggestions of the taste.
Yeah.
This episode of the podcast was removed by Rooster Teeth during their initial purge at the start of the controversy, but thankfully we still have this inappropriate clip. This bizarre segment was even commented on by the fan in the messages, to which Ryan replied that he thought of her when he did it. At this point, there is so much on Ryan that it will be impossible to cover everything in a video like this one. The most important thing is to remember the accusations that include things like paying for flights so that women he seduced online can have sex with him, along with many other instances of manipulation and taking advantage of vulnerable fans. All of them have the same starting point that eventually ends in an affair. Sometimes he would have unprotected intercourse with different people within just a few days of each encounter. Keep in mind that all of this is just scratching the surface when it comes to his indecent behavior. Even if he were to completely disregard all of the women he actually met, there would still be many messages he exchanged with fans, almost all of which he tried to turn sexual. It is important to understand that there is a deluge of information circulating online, making it hard to discern which accusations are genuine and which are fabricated solely to contribute to the ongoing drama. But whatever the case might be, it is clear that Ryan is grappling with deep-seated issues, as at every opportunity he attempts to satisfy his perverse urges, without considering the damage inflicted upon the people around him. His lack of restraint regarding his deviancy is glaringly apparent. It speaks volumes about his true personality and the extent of his disregard for the well-being of others. His actions paint a disturbing picture of a man consumed by his desires, since he had ample opportunity to seek professional help and address the root causes of his harmful behavior. However, he opted to indulge in it rather than face it head-on. One of the major topics surrounding Ryan Haywood revolves around the origins of his habits. How did someone with the facade of a dorky but innocent gamer engage in such disturbing activities behind the scenes? Was he always like this, or did fame and influence lead him to a point where he believed he could get away with satisfying these unsettling desires? There may be an answer to this question because among the many stories that emerged, several witnesses came forward alleging that they had affairs with Ryan as early as 2012. There are two important things we need to acknowledge here. Firstly, there doesn't appear to be any predatory or illegal behavior, and there's no evidence to support these claims as none were provided. If these accounts are true, he has been a serial cheater on a much larger scale, meaning that the timeline of his exploits is much longer than we initially thought. The only significant change in 2017 is that he acquired Twitch and Snapchat accounts, expanding the pool of women and girls available to him and the means by which he could contact and groom them. Similar to many other allegations in this video, I'll leave the validity of this one for you to determine. The fallout from this controversy was so severe that it extended to some of his colleagues, to a point where even Jeff Ramsey got his own fair share of the nightmare. One fan alleged that Jeff was aware of Ryan's inappropriate behavior with women and that he himself engaged in sexual conversations and encounters with some of them. The most notable accusation is that he had sex with a friend of the fan who came forward despite being married at the time. However, the evidence for these accusations was questionable at best, and soon Jeff would address these allegations in a lengthy post where he refuted claims of prior knowledge about Ryan's actions. He also clarified that he never cheated on his wife, as they had mutually agreed to an open relationship before their divorce and they were already separated at the time. While he admitted to briefly exploring relationships within the community, he found it uncomfortable and ceased such interactions, opting to date outside the community exclusively. Additionally, I feel the need to emphasize that all the relationships he engaged in were with consenting adults. In a nutshell, unless additional charges or some kind of a proof emerges, it appears that this accusation has been effectively addressed, particularly given that the original accuser modified her Google document to closely align with Jeff's response. As you can see, the entire situation has gotten way out of hand, and at some point even Jack's wife, Katie Ward, created this Instagram video discussing her own thoughts on Ryan Haywood and the events that unfolded during that tumultuous month of October.
Jack has spoken. Oh, I should say trigger and content warning. I'm going to speak about Ryan Haywood. So I'm just letting you know that's the direction of this particular video. Jack told me what he knew, which honestly, what we know is as much as the community does too. I feel like that should be clear. We aren't privy to anything else. We're all just as shocked as you are. And I went through and I read every single one of the statements I could find. And felt so sick to my stomach. So sick. I'm so angry that he took away the first sexual experience for so many of those young women. In these particular situations, that these women were consenting individuals, but they weren't consenting to the entire story. There was no... it wasn't an honest communication. They were given one particular set of facts, were told certain cherry-picked pieces of information, and then consented on that. And that's not real consent. They weren't giving consent to what Ryan was taking. And he was taking. He was absolutely taking. He never gave. It was all for him.
In this video, she addressed the complex nature of power imbalances in relationships between fans and celebrities. She also explained how most of Ryan's sexual interactions with his audience could not be considered consensual, as he frequently engaged in activities that were not previously agreed upon, like choking, taking off protection mid-sex, and so on. It's important to remember that from the very start, Rooster Teeth took swift and decisive action to address the situation. As soon as the allegations surfaced, they acted quickly to sever ties with Ryan Haywood, terminating his employment immediately and sending a clear message that such behavior would not be tolerated within their company. Then they issued a public statement where they informed the community of Ryan's termination, expressing their disappointment and reinforcing their commitment to maintaining a safe and respectful environment for both their employees and fans. This transparency was crucial in addressing the concerns of their audience and maintaining a degree of trust. This allowed Rooster Teeth to keep producing new and engaging content for their community, despite facing obvious struggles and a significant decline in relevance over a prolonged period. The major question that is probably on everybody's mind is what happened to Ryan Haywood during and after the controversy. As the full extent of the scandal began to emerge, he issued the previously mentioned statement expressing his intention to focus on rebuilding his family and life. Subsequently, he deleted all of his social media accounts, seemingly in an attempt to disappear from the internet and avoid the overwhelming backlash. For many observers, this may appear as the end of his public presence. After all, how could someone with such a significant scandal attached to their name ever reappear online? However, in one of the most unbelievable moments during my time on the internet, Ryan resurfaced on January 4th with a post on his Twitch account. In this statement, he made various claims, including that he was recovering and had found employment after losing his previous career. He also mentioned improvements in his mental health, all the while displaying a remarkable lack of awareness regarding his role as a perpetrator rather than a victim in a series of events that affected genuine victims. The most egregious thing is yet to come, however, because he also stated that he plans to return to Twitch at some point, showing that the size of his ego is only matched by his delusion. As one might imagine, the backlash to this statement was almost immediate, with YouTubers and other internet personalities quickly addressing the situation. It's hard to comprehend what Ryan was thinking when he made that post, but he probably realized how good he had it with his previous career, and maybe this was an attempt to salvage at least a small piece of his former success. Despite this, the cold shower of reality would soon hit him in a form of a Twitch ban on January 20th. If Ryan had any doubts about whether he would still be welcomed back into the community, this decision by Twitch staff probably gave him the clarity he obviously needed. The era of the Mad King's reign is truly behind us, leaving only a disturbing and deplorable individual who is best relegated to the margins where he can no longer endanger anyone. In many ways, this is where the story of Ryan Haywood ends for now. Since January 2020, there have been no real updates on his personal life. He has not made any posts or appearances in the digital realm, meaning this is truly the end of a life he once knew. As is often the case with internet personalities, there are many rumors circulating online, including a supposed lawsuit. From what I understand, due to the dubious circumstances of the entire scandal, no criminal charges were brought against Ryan. However, it appears there was a civil lawsuit filed against him and Rooster Teeth, but this case was eventually dropped. To my knowledge, he is still married to his wife Lori, but now has a regular job. And by almost every measure possible, it is likely that Ryan will remain in this position for the rest of his life. His story has become just one of many about people who achieved great success in the realm of digital entertainment, but whose personal desires ultimately led to their downfall. Because of this, they are now forced to live a life of irrelevance, something they likely were not accustomed to given the abundance of resources their careers previously afforded them. As many of you already know, the story of rise and fall can also be applied to the community that initially brought Ryan his success. Because despite their best efforts to move forward, Rooster Teeth sadly closed its doors on May 15th of this year. The closure marks the end of a 21-year journey for the Austin-based company, which saw its rise in 2003. Despite many attempts to adapt through mergers, acquisitions and various business models, Rooster Teeth could not sustain its operations. The entire organization had been facing financial difficulties for several years, exhibited by many controversies and changing market dynamics. Throughout its history, Rooster Teeth was a trailblazer in online content, from pioneering machinima with Red vs. Blue to achieving significant success with many other projects that still resonate with their audience. Despite the closure, its influence on the online entertainment industry remains significant, having set trends in content creation, community engagement and crowdfunding. For many, Rooster Teeth remains a cherished part of their childhood, and its influence and legacy will always inhabit the vast digital realm. It is important for us to remember that this reputation will forever stand apart from the actions of individuals who tarnish the company's image by prioritizing their personal destructive desires over the core values of the community they once inhabited. In this modern age, our social circles extend far beyond the confines of physical proximity. Through the internet, it is easy to forge a false friendship with individuals we've never even met. Ryan Haywood occupied this place in my life, as he did for many others during the heyday of Achievement Hunter's content. The videos he helped to create were once a source of boundless joy and amusement, but now, as we revisit those memories, an uncanny feeling looms over our nostalgia. Behind the veil of entertainment, there appears to be a narrative tainted by betrayal and deceit, replacing the wholesome feeling that once resonated with us. It is an uncomfortable truth that our perceptions can easily be shattered in an instant, forcing us to reconcile the difference between the person we thought we knew and the one they have become. Even in these troubling circumstances, Ryan's work once represented something great, and the bonds we shared through these experiences still endure. Let us forget the individual and try to remember the team as a whole and the pleasant memories they gave us. By doing this, we can reflect positively on Rooster Teeth and contribute to its lasting legacy that will endure long after its tragic demise.